And we're live.
Hello.
Such handsome faces.
That's us, man.
What's up?
What's going on?
Welcome to the Friday edition of General Admissions Podcast.
It is Friday, and it's
Isn't it?
Tuesday, isn't it?
It's Friday, isn't it? Froy.
Oh, nar.
Oh, nar.
So, there's some. Oh, the lighting looks good on you today.
Thank you.
Look at you.
We got 6 viewers on fucking Rumble.
Look at that. God damn. Oh, look at Raven.
Thank you.
What's up, bud?
What's up, girl?
Twitch who? So this is our first stream here on Rumble, and I'm kind of stoked to see how it do and where it go.
Preparing for the Twitch fucking implosion when the Asmongold and fucking Hasan Piker war finally ends, to whatever end that goes.
So I actually haven't been paying too much attention to that.
Oh, dude, it's getting crazier and crazier every day.
I used to be really into what streamers were doing, back when people like Dr. Disrespect and Summit 1G and Ninja, all those guys were and I have no idea who Kai Cenat is, and what he does, and I'm not too, I don't follow him. I'm not too familiar with that guy and what he does, but I'm I don't know. I just fell off of the Twitch bandwagon. I kind of got tired of it.
I was always sort of on the fringe. I never was deep into I had to catch every fucking stream. No, I was never really a part of that. I used to catch all the highlights and just kind of keep a general thing of what was going on in YouTube and Twitch drama. But it's getting to the point now, since iDubbbz Content Cop came out about H3.
I used to love those videos of his. Those were
did you watch the most recent one?
No, I haven't watched iDubbbz anything in forever, but I used to like
horrendous.
Is it bad?
It's horrendous. I never watched any of the previous ones. I wasn't big. I knew who iDubbbz was because of the memes. I know where all these people are because of the memes. Never actually because I sat down and watched them. The only person that I actually sat down and watched a couple was Asmongold, because I generally enjoy some of his takes on the gaming industry and shit like that. Never watched Hasan Piker. I only know him because of his forays into politics and sort of crossing paths with some of the politics that I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never a big into them. But for whatever the fuck is going on now, this is it's the precursor to the YouTube adpocalypse, but on Twitch.
I could see that.
You know what the adpocalypse was about, right?
Well, I remember when YouTube didn't have ads, and I remember when it started having ads, and everyone started losing their shit.
I remember when God said, "Let there be light." Yeah, I remember when there was no fucking ads either. That was the dawn of it.
Yeah.
No, so the adpocalypse happened around 2012. It's kind of gearing up 2011. Happened in 2012, and essentially what happened was ad sponsors, basically major companies, Viacom, Disney, those guys started getting particular about whose videos their ads would run in front of. So basically they went to YouTube and were like, look, if you're going to put us, basically have some discretion on who you put our ads in front of. And that's when YouTube, the landscape of YouTube completely changed. And it was no longer the Wild West. That's the big deal about it, is because that's when all the censorship started. And the problem was they really cracked down on nuisance streamers and edgelords and those guys. But that's when they also sort of got a little heavy handed with other parts and political streamers and talk shows and ruined a lot of people's careers and ruined iDubbbz's career because he was no longer able to be the edgelord that he was. So now Twitch, which is sort of where everybody ran off to voice their opinions, Twitch kind of became the Wild West, where it's a gaming streaming site, but people are now using it as like a talk site, a talk show, podcast. Hey, here we are.
I think my camera froze.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's kind of cool. There you go. Now it's just your green face.
That was just my dumb face.
we should get our avatars to be like technical difficulties. Be right back. It would be like this big. So as you figure that out, I will continue my. So basically, because of that, Twitch being now the sort of slightly censored, kind of watched Wild West of the podcast drama / talk scene. They used to call them like reaction channels, or they would call them like what is the actual word that they use for them? They're like content. Oh, your whole Discord crashed. Nice. What a way to start off. So as we're waiting for Steve to come back. Nope, that's just my head. I'm floundering, Steve. I don't know what to say. I hate talking to myself. Malaise. Good to see you, buddy. You're here. Yeah, basically. Oh, I fixed this the last time that I was in here. How did that not save? Transform. Unstretch to screen. Edit transform. There it is. There we go. That's going to take forever. Let's do 700. 900. That's closer. Done. I'll stay that way. That's my face. So I'm glad to see everybody here. Tyson, it's good to see you, buddy. Malice, good to see you. What's your favorite dish? What's my favorite dish? That's a good question. My grandmother used to make this thing that we used to call hamburger gravy. And it was essentially like poor man's shepherd's pie, where she would like, she had this phenomenal way. Like she grew up born in like the 30s, 40s, 30s. I think she was like 1937. So sort of tail end of the Depression. And she just had these phenomenal ways of cooking. And she used to take instant mashed potatoes, and literally you couldn't tell the difference that they weren't instant mashed potatoes. But it's because she used to like put in specific ingredients to like not make them gritty and nasty. So that was the first thing. She had these very specifically flavored mashed potatoes. You would take a bed of that, and then she would make hamburger, but then also make homemade gravy from it. Mix that all together with like celery seed, celery, pepper, salt, all that stuff. Mix that all together, and then layer that on top of the mashed potatoes. Oh, it's a family favorite. It's not just my favorite. It's a family favorite. It's my dad's favorite. It's my sister's favorite. My sister even went vegan, but would still eat it. Okay, now you gotta get your camera back up.
I'm getting there. Keep your shirt on.
Currently, my favorite dish. I'm on a very highly specific diet right now. So I would say, not to sound snooty, but because it hits all my macros, a ribeye steak. I mean, I had carnivore
You pretentious
meatballs.
prick.
I know, right? It's like that's the worst part. Like when like I'm only carnivore. People don't hear that you just eat meat. Like some people that bothers, but the other people are like, "You rich dickhead."
Yeah,
it's like I'm not rich. I'm broke.
Which, by the way, feel free to follow us on here and everywhere. That's another thing. Like if the videos that we post on Rumble that are monetized, it's like you get the ones that you like exclusively post on Rumble, I think are monetized more.
Raven, thank you for the bits, baby.
Thank you, Raven.
So,
but it looks like we're doing pretty good so far. Anyway, like what we were saying.
I forget what we were saying now. I started going off about food because Malice asked me what my favorite dish was. Malice, what's your favorite dish? What's your favorite?
Yeah, enough about us.
Enough about us. I want to hear what you like. What do you like to eat? Don't say, well, never mind. Steve knew where I was going with that.
Go on.
Go on, sir. What's your favorite dish, Steve? What's one like all-time favorite meal? Chicken laksa. I don't know what that is. Cannot state enough how much I like that dish. Laksa. I got to look it up. I have no idea what that is.
There's a particular way that my mom and dad, when I was a kid, used to make it. It's simple as hell, kielbasa and rice, but they would like take like they would like cut minced onion and garlic up and like kind of cook that with cut the kielbasa into like medallions and just like toss it in a pan and then just serve that over rice, and it was just super easy, super delicious, and yeah, it fucking ruled. That's probably like my all-time favorite. My mom and dad used to make it for me like every year for my birthday.
I don't want game capture. What happened to my screen capture? I had screen capture on here.
Ja nie znają, comrade.
Window capture. Not the porn, not the porn, not the porn. Firefox. There we go. Why is it always at the top? Can't see anything. I'm blind.
Also, by the way, folks, please follow us on Rumble if you're not following already.
So this is chicken laksa. That looks intense. It's like a spicy chicken pho is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be into that. I would eat that, definitely.
That looks good. We got to get our alert box to riff off of Rumble things too.
I like to take
it goes so damn hard.
I like to take out females personally. Fair enough. I'd be into that. Raven, what's your favorite dish? And anybody else who would like to chime in? That's a pretty good question.
Oh, and we were talking about before my computer shit itself. The YouTube adpocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, because of the things that are going on and the Twitch CEO's personal decisions currently. So Hassan is a pretty controversial streamer. Some of the shit that he says and does and has done, and we've talked about it, and I don't feel like actually bringing it up. But it seems as though that the owner of Twitch favors him, so he doesn't get demonetized, or
He doesn't get the same treatment as everybody else.
He gets special treatment. I mean, the CEO actually threw Hassan a birthday party, like live and shit like that, and he's the only person that Hassan is the only person that the CEO has done that for. So basically, what a lot of people are saying and throwing in is that what's going to end up happening is the only way to get him to change his mind and change his behavior is, of course, the only way you can change anybody's mind is hit him in the pocket. Fried chicken and waffles. You are such a basic bitch. I love you. I am so down for fried chicken and waffles. There's no hate. That is respect.
You know, I don't think I've ever had
simple. You never had fried chicken and waffles?
Can't say I have.
Nah, it can't just be like standard fucking waffles. You can't just do like fried chicken and Eggo.
No, I had like there was like a,
you got to get the Belgian ones that have like
fried chicken on like a waffle sandwich thing before.
Southern waffles.
I don't count that.
No. You got to do you got to do the Southern waffles, which are like Belgian. They're like the big fat round ones. Yeah. You do that together. Phenomenal.
Yeah. You had me at fat and round.
Oh God. I may regret this. Malice, what do the Japanese call fried chicken and waffles? Hassan is a terrible streamer. Thank you.
I never really watched his stream, so I can't confirm or deny.
He's just, I think we talked about this. He started out as like a pickup artist guy, and then turned into like a political streamer somehow, some way. Rather jump off a cliff than watch him. I thoroughly, no thanks. I've had to like just go watch him simply to like get an idea. Since 2020, I have been political, and I've gone into politics, and I even entertained the idea of running at a certain point. But I do my best to watch an aggregate of all different viewpoints from every direction and angle. You're good. So that I'm not stuck in a bubble. I want to know what's happening in entertainment. I want to know what's happening all over. What's up, baby girl? Come in here making demands. Excuse me for a second. I have to find entertainment for my daughter.
Oakley dokley.
That one good? Okay. That's what you want to watch. Come on. Johnny still awake?
I don't know.
You don't know. It's being weird. It's not probably because I got too much stuff going on right now. It is not. There you go. All right. Sorry about that.
I'm still curious to what fried chicken and waffles.
Yeah, he just left us hanging. Cool. Go lay down.
Do you want to know the key to life? Yeah, go on.
Do you want to know how to keep an asshole in suspense?
Door. put ice cubes in it? No. Like suspended in the air? I've seen that. Or pants. Mouse, what the fuck is the punchline?
Yeah, what's the punchline? The joke is, how do you want to keep an asshole in suspense? You just stop talking.
Yeah.
That's the suspense. And I'm calling you an asshole.
Yeah, I'm what I eat.
Wear pants. Where are the pants? Wear pants.
Do you know what the Japanese call fried chicken and waffles? Fried chicken and waffles, but in Japanese. Oh,
did I miss that?
Okay.
Where's
Yep.
that?
It's in the chat. It's just
I don't see it. I don't see it in the group chat.
it's right after his when he asked that in chat
Oh,
on Twitch. This fucking guy.
Smooth. We're idiots. So,
God.
yes, that lends itself to why I think it's appropriate for us to actually get on Rumble. Glad to see everybody over there. I appreciate that. Everybody who follows us on Twitch, if you can follow us on Rumble, that'd be great. But that's basically because just preparing for the moment that they go ham on, because that'll be the thing is the ads are going to get pulled from Twitch. Then he's going to start cracking down on people till the ads start coming back, and it's going to be a desert there for a while because So no thanks. No, thank you. Oh, we're back on YouTube tonight, by the way. Just give you a heads up.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Sweet.
We're back on the podcast.
So we're currently broadcasting to YouTube, Twitch,
and Rumble.
Mm-hmm. What a time to be alive.
Do you know what an asshole is called in Greece?
An asshole, but in Greek.
A slippery brown eye. I love that the only thing that moved was your upper lip. So there's my rant. Please, let's talk about stuff.
We're currently broadcasting to YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. What a time to be alive. Now I have it up everywhere.
Cool.
Yeah, we got to get a way to get a lot of the clips. Probably just like re-download a lot of the videos that we did on YouTube and repost them on Rumble.
So what do you want to talk about? Let's talk about stuff. You wanted to go back to this style. You gotta come up with something, man.
Well, airline food. What is up with that stuff? Thank you. Good night. No, I think that like there's a lot I could talk about.
Let's press the boundary. Let's see if we get fucking booted off of YouTube. Let's come on, do this. Let's do it. Let's do it. What are you scared of? Don't you fucking say. Don't you say it. Don't. Stop. I regretted it saying it the moment that I said it. Don't you do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Legitimately, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh.
Don't do it. 109 countries can't be wrong. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You beat me by 1 second. I almost said that. I almost said that exact same thing. No, my dad's Jewish. It's okay. He just doesn't practice the religion. No, I think the world is in a weird place right now where you have people who are making millions of dollars by flaunting that they have millions of dollars on places like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and it's
excess streaming.
It's I don't know, like it's just like, and the people are just like getting like, I'll never understand. Like if I made millions of dollars, the last thing I'm gonna do is tell everyone on the internet, hey, I have millions of dollars. Like I don't follow Amaranth at all, but like what happened to her was a shame, because like, you know, she fucking had gotten robbed at gunpoint. That's fucking terrifying. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Okay, so not to cut you off, this is the era of no personal accountability.
Yeah, because I watched I watched another video on how she and her, like, first her and her husband like broke up, and allegedly she was being forced to do OnlyFans as a result of her husband like kind of just being like, hey, do this and make me money or whatever. And then like she put this video up where she was like crying about, like physically crying, and just seemed very distressed about, you know, how her husband had forced her to do OnlyFans. She never wanted to do it to begin with. Divorced him, was still doing OnlyFans because that's where the money was coming from, really. And then got back with him after the robbery thing. But then like they were like just constantly fighting, and he would like try to like cut the stream, like, why are we live streaming right now? Like, let's talk about this.
People thrive in
drama. She would stop him from cutting the stream, but then like go into the fetal position in the corner and make sure the camera was on her.
Because that shit gets views. Disgusting as it is, that shit gets views. People love that shit. You know, one of the parts that I think that everybody gets wrong, and this is the part that I think, just as an example, we have people from all over the United States, but we also have people from outside the United States in our chat right now. The biggest mistake, because all people ever see in the chats are generally English, is they think that they're only interacting from people within their nation. And the truth is that this is global. Anybody can find us from any country on the face of the planet and have a AI bot that automatically translates their chats directly to English. There are people in other countries who just want to see the downfall of other people because they live in shit countries and they hate us.
It's like comforting to know that they're not the only ones who are falling apart.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
It's like some kind of reassurance.
Yes. And that's the other part, is there's plenty of people in this country that thrive off of the thought that rich people are dealing with poor people problems too. Does that make sense?
I wanted to spit when Amaranth's husband was like, we used to make $2 million a month. Now we're only making $1 million a month. Like,
yeah, but you can't be jealous of that shit. They're paying for it. What kind of life is that? Yeah, where all your dirty laundry is aired out on the global stage. No thanks.
Yeah, no, you can keep that, but it's just mind-boggling that there are people out there that are like,
yeah, you can make billions and billions of dollars, millions of dollars doing this kind of stuff. But if you're fucking like all the nuisance streamers that are now regretting parts of that because their lives are not private, all the people that have become YouTubers, their lives are not private. You know, you go anywhere, you become a meme, you become viral. This is the thing that I've had this conversation before with you, where it's, if I had $1 million, if I hit the lottery tomorrow, right? My life, like day to day, wouldn't change. I would disappear. You wouldn't see me anymore. I have no.
I'd miss you.
I would miss you too, but you'd still see me. You'd still see me. But I'm saying, like, this would end. I would be gone. I'm don't want other people to know where I live, what I do, I'm gone. I would probably I would probably sell my property and then probably get an even more remote, isolated property. Hi, Raven. But
Welcome back, Raven.
With more cameras, so that, you know, but I don't want to live exposed to the world so that everybody can cheer and jeer at my risings and my shortcomings. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, people, that's the other part that people just don't seem to understand is like, once you get famous, there are people who are going to fall in love with you and love you to death. There are those people, you know, there's the Bjork stalker, and that's just a microcosm. There's so many other people like that they deal with stalkers constantly. And they don't even have to be like thirst producers or thirst content. They could just be average. One of the guys that I watch, he's a political streamer. He's had to deal with people just showing up to his fucking property. It happened in Jersey. It happened all over the place. Because once you become something, when you expose yourself to the world, then the world starts looking back at you. When you stare into the void stares back at you.
Yeah.
And people will, because there's people in this world that have no boundaries. They don't understand what boundaries are. And they'll just do whatever whisperer gets into their head, and they'll just decide to like show up at your house at 3 a.m. And no, thank you. And then in the same situations like Amaranth. By the way, I understand what you said. I wouldn't say anything about how I feel with Amaranth. I'm not saying that she deserved what happened to her. Not at all. Not in the fucking least. Yeah, I was saying that this is the era of the lack of responsibility from other situations, because there's plenty of streamers and everybody out there who do Johnny Somali. You know, they don't want to actually. Because I wouldn't be able to.
I don't know who Johnny Somali is.
Johnny Somali is a kick streamer that's now serving time in Korea because he's an absolute nuisance. I guess that's a good way of putting it. He's just a straight nuisance, and he violated a whole bunch of laws in Japan and Korea, and so now he's serving time. But it's like, what did you think was going to happen when you started a live stream and told everybody where you were at and said, "Come fight me"? And like, what did you expect? But that's what I mean by the lack of personal accountability. What happened to Amaranth is an absolute crime. Obviously, it's a robbery. Yeah. She didn't deserve that. But that's it. Like, when your personal business is out there, it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. People assume things. They think they know you because they watch you on screen.
Yeah. And it's a completely different. But like, I've had people who have watched my streams on like other platforms, and they just assume like someone. Me and actually Tyson were just talking about this the other day. There was a guy that just assumed all like you think he had me found out, or like, what's the term I'm looking for, a phrase, like you think he had me down pat.
Figured out.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. You think he knew all this. He made all these assumptions about my life, about how much money I made from streaming, you know, what I do and everything. And he couldn't have been.
Was this the guy that we were talking about? Same dude.
Which guy?
Well, I don't want to talk about specifics online, but
yeah,
was it the conversation that we had where we discussed the conversations that you had with this gentleman, and he was making all sorts of weird assumptions?
Yeah.
Same guy.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. He thinks he knows you, but he has some weird. Well, this person is an evil piece of shit that takes no responsibility for anyone and is a Superman child. Well, I mean, I hate to break it to you, but that's what I'm talking about. That's this generation. These people don't take responsibility for themselves. It's everybody else's fault of why they're in a shit situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Again, I'm not saying that about Amaranth.
Let the record show.
Yeah, I'm not talking about her.
But no,
You know,
I'm sure.
I'm glad. I'm glad that she did all the things, because personally, my belief is buying a firearm is taking personal responsibility for yourself.
Mhm.
Covering your house in cameras. My house is covered in cameras.
Yep.
Inside and outside. And somebody would say, well, that's a violation of privacy. Sure, but it also deters a lot of people from doing something stupid within 10 feet of my yard.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to deal with situations where people have been vandals for whatever reason. They destroyed my Christmas lights. Why? What the fuck? So go ahead, go talk to the cops and explain to them why you did it.
Maybe they were mad because they were Christmas lights and not a menorah.
Who knows, man? Stop. You're such a dick.
It's okay. My dad's Jewish.
It's not a good enough answer. I was told that I shouldn't post that by Twitch because it would be too offensive. See, that's they say that's too offensive. I love that's the other part that's only going to get worse. The censorship's only going to get worse because of when they have these AI bots that handle this kind of stuff. There's no human discernment that's involved in that. The bot's just going to read the word and be like, this word's tagged, even though you could be, it's.
Well, that's a whole nother thing with like censorship. Like, first of all, like freedom of speech, that's one of the things that made this country so great in the first place. Second of all,
or Discord telling me that I shouldn't block someone because it's too offensive to someone else. That's an interesting twist. Don't trust Discord whatsoever. They're deeply embedded with the FBI and they're monitoring everything that you say. And I am perfectly okay with them knowing that I know that.
But the fuck, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Damn it, John.
My bad.
Oh, cutting me off when I'm in mid-sentence. That's old hat for John. Shit. What was I saying?
Got to get on some nootropics. Help with your ADD.
I know. It's terrible. I need that neuro gum.
So we were talking about how AI doesn't discriminate. They just censor because they just.
Oh yeah, how like you can, like the whole like censorship of everything. It's all it's gonna do is just, I feel like, shoo people, more and more people away from the platform. Like
no, I get what you're saying. Logically, that would make sense, but no, that's not what's going to end up happening. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yes, yes.
To constantly like watch what you say,
yes,
and like yeah, obviously like be respectful. Like
I'm all about be respectful. So in America, you have basically there was a huge crackdown during the adpocalypse against right wing political speakers, and the people who held onto YouTube thought, well, they'll have nowhere else to go. 5 years later, well, it's actually been more than 5 years, but still, things have happened where Elon Musk bought Twitter. Now it's considered a right-wing shithole, but he reinstated all of the anti-censorship stuff. And I'm not a big fan of it. I think that Twitter and X it's just not my cup of tea. But Rumble, that behavior, that censorship behavior, you're pushing people away from your platform with the audacity and the hubris to believe that you are the only thing out there. You're the only game in town, and you're not, because people will, if you shoo off enough of them, people will build something else. Yeah. And that's exactly what's happened. And now we are here in this era where Rumble exists. And it's like you said to me as soon as we started, wow, they sure do like Trump. Well, yeah, it's because they're allowed to actually talk about him on that program without immediately getting fucking shadow banned, pushed to the bottom of the algorithm. And so
that's like,
so that's where they all went.
And that, I think that goes to show, like,
but that's
just because you can't talk about a certain politician,
that's the main argument,
or a streamer, or like something like you can't agree with, like you should be able to, like, they're like that's kind of what helps us grow as people. Like, you have a disagreement with someone, it's like, all right, let's talk about why do you disagree with that? Why, here's what I believe, here's what you believe, let's A and B it, and kind of like, there's like, I think it's better to have a healthy disagreement and at least find like some kind of common ground, maybe, if it's possible. Or I think it's better to do that than to just completely ban us the talking about one person or one subject or one thing. It's just, I think it's just gonna fucking keep one foot nailed to the floor as a society, and we're not gonna fucking go anywhere.
That's the argument of free speech absolutists, is that if you censorship people for what they say, then they're going to go underground, and you're not going to hear it and know who's saying it anymore. If they know that every time that they bring it up, they're going to be censored. And that's where I lie with, I think everybody should be able to say whatever the hell it is that they want to say. And the problem is that we're always hamstrung about the lowest common denominator being the people who are highly impressionable, who are influenced by simple words instead of actually discussing ideas. So I get where, like, certain things you don't want to talk about. Like, obviously you don't want to talk about ending things, backspacing in Star Citizen in real life. Right there, like, you can't even be an advocate of that, of anti that. You can't even talk about, I know of channels that have been blocked and banned for talking about being, and you have to be like so over the top that you are an anti backspace advocate, but they still get demonetized about it because there's absolutely no discrepancy from the AI bots that track those things. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, it's
so then.
But that's another thing with the, like, AI is just a whole nother.
So to add to that, because people are trying to generally, it's like the teenagers, the ones that I'm talking about, the easily impressioned teenagers. They will go somewhere else. So like what's happening right now, I highly doubt you've even heard of it, because nobody has, because it's becoming a fucking ridiculous problem. They're using Google Maps, and they are creating basically like 4chan type things. I don't say 4chan, like a message board. They use it like a message board, not 4chan. Okay. That's just the first message board that pops into my head. But that style of internet communication, they use 4chan is amazing cesspool. It's entertaining.
It's entertaining.
It's horrible. You definitely got to go in there with your fucking wits about you, because it's fucking the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
But that's happening in Google Maps right now, because you're able to add, like, so you can take a pin, right? Mm-hmm. And you can drop a pin in the middle of fucking nowhere, Antarctica, pick somewhere, right? And it's only going to show up if you go searching for it. So then you and your friends now have like a space that you can go share images and conversations, and you can talk about all sorts of crazy shit. And because it's not meant to be a social media hub, there's a lot of things that aren't built into it. So there isn't as much censorship. So they're sharing like nude pictures of children on Google Maps right now, from kids to kids. How fucking wild is that? But this is a reality. When you, and I'm not saying that people should should share CP. That's not the point that I'm trying to make here. But what I am saying is that like children generally try and go find a place for themselves to have conversations. But the internet's we weren't ready for it. We weren't fucking ready for it. That's the truth. We weren't, it was there for the nerds and the geeks to fucking understand it and have some sort of moral compass going on to it. It was not there for everybody. And everybody's on it now. And it's insanity. It's complete insanity. It's chaos. And then insert the bots. The Chinese bots, the Russian bots. And that's the other part that I always thought was really funny. So they always talk about Russian bots. It's not Russian bots. It's always Chinese bots. If you actually know what the fuck you're talking about, they're all from China.
But fucking everybody's got bots and everywhere.
No, it's mostly China.
But I think what needs to be done is like things. See, this is going to be a tough, probably a hot take because
you're gonna have to dance around it.
The internet needs to be, I believe, moderated a little more, not by like the government, because then it's like they're just going to say like believe in what we believe in and do what we say. But like it needs to be like the parents need. I feel like the parents need to be more aware of what their kids are doing on their devices. They need to monitor this shit.
Yeah.
And it's like you need to control what your kids have access to.
The problem is parents need to be like IT network admins. And the average adult, even the average millennial adult, although we are generally good at it, do not have the ability to track their in-home network traffic. So we leave it to our internet service providers to track that kind of stuff. But even still, like it's a problem that's getting away from us, and it's running so fast away from us we can't keep up with it. And now AI is getting involved, and I'm seeing stuff that like I have a very discerning eye. I can spot fucking CGI. I listen, it's trauma. I understand that. I learned that from fucking Instagram, that the fact that I watch micro expressions and all of that stuff is because I was abused as a child. I get that. But the point is that it taught me really, really, really well to spot a expression on a fucking AI video. And that's one thing that no matter how good these things get, CO or all these things, doesn't fucking matter. I can still spot when the eyebrows and the mouth don't move at the same pace or don't convey the proper expression that the person who's talking should be conveying. So I can see through it, but I know that there are a lot of people out there that can't. That fucking see this person talking about how this is and blah blah blah, and it's talking about all sorts of like, dude, it's getting to the point where like I can't send you enough of the things that I see every day to show you how crazy it's getting.
I'm still keeping up with all the Instagram reels you send me. Please don't even try. I try. I really do. Every time I
do
have a moment when I first wake up in the morning, when I first go to bed, every time I go to go use the bathroom, I'm sitting on my phone trying to catch up. I love you. I really do. But yeah, it's getting to a point now where it's going to be, I think it's, I hope not, but I think it's probably going to be something along the lines of Skynet.
No, it doesn't. It's proving that it doesn't even have to be like that. It's going to be worse than our apps, the sum of all of our fears. Like, one of the guys that I watch, his belief. I think we talked about this a little bit on one of our podcasts. So, the 1980s. Couldn't conceive our conception of what we thought AI was going to be was like this satellite thing that was going to take over robots and manufacturing, and it was going to produce these Terminators, and these Terminators were going to like kill all humanity and all that shit. Nah, bud, but it's going to be worse than that. It's going to be so much fucking worse than that. What's going to happen the guy that I watch, his conjecture is that it's going to become like, if it doesn't like what you say, then it's going to send a false DoorDash to this person who's going to come across a person, and that person is going to cross across a crosswalk. Say that, cross across a crosswalk. Say that 5 times fast. And then somebody's GPS that's driving through there, or their car is going to get taken control of, one of these automatic driving cars, and it's going to run past this DoorDasher, and it's going to not hit him, but it's going to hit you because you're in another vehicle, but it's going to do everything it can to snuff you. And it's just going to look like an accident. It's going to look like just like an oops. Like I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Today I was sitting on my couch and it crossed my mind to detach all of my Googles and get rid of my smartphones. Like legit.
I kind of want to like. I was actually just thinking about that the other day. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I was like, I kind of want to like just get a flip phone again.
Yeah,
get like.
It's going to take
my smart TV. Just
like tech reformation. I'm talking about it right now. It's going to be a thing. It's going to grow. It's going to be a thing. See, this is the part that, remember we were talking about that story. We were going to talk about like in the future, and my character was going to be like a tech reformist, and he was just like all about old stuff, gasoline cars, and like. But that's because that's truly my sentiment. If you want to survive, there's a reason why they did the cash for clunkers thing. And if you think it's simple as because they were trying to get old cars off the street, then you don't realize why every car's got fucking Wi-Fi in it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, through the 90s, there were still cars from the 60s driving all around. There were still cars from the 70s driving all around. But why in the 90s did they have a huge fucking national and global push to get rid of cars from the 70s and 80s and 90s? Because in the 2000s, that's when they started putting in the computers. Why?
Yeah.
Fucking why?
And they built them to be light, like it's.
Let alone
I watched a video of like a car that was built in like the 70s or 80s that like they crashed them into something and you know, the driver would have survived, where like now like cars are much more like there's more plastic, there's more like
that was
far less likely to survive in a more modern car than you would have.
My favorite
in the 70s
was when I asked something, might even have looked it up, I can't remember, but I remember saying like in the 70s they used like actual sheet steel to make all of the fenders and everything, the body of the car, out of steel.
Yeah.
And then they started making them out of aluminum and thin sheet and all that stuff. And, you know, some door panels now are less than a fucking 1/8 of an inch thick. Like, why? Why would you do that? Because it makes, and this is the answer that I got, it makes the car lighter so people would survive better in accidents. Horseshit. That's why they're only rated to 35 miles an hour. Every crash, that's the only thing that they ever rate a vehicle to be safe. Your seatbelt is only rated to 35 fucking miles an hour.
Yeah. I had a friend in high school. She was in a car accident, and I think that she was going like 50. And she had her seatbelt on, but she had this huge broke her collarbone and had this huge red stripe across her shoulder and her chest, where the seatbelt had like dug into her, and it actually
the only harness that'll stop you from dying in high speed is a 5-point harness. A 3-point harness can cut you in half.
Yeah.
If you really want to like look at, see, that's the part that I love. I think it's hilarious, is because they're like, oh, well, you know, the average consumer is not going to wear a 5-point harness. It's a buckle. It's the same fucking buckle that you have over here, and it just clips here. Click, click. And most of them are actually like a kid's car seat. You just done. There's a 5-point harness, and you know, they got the one in the center. so that your body just kind of goes like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, God, Bill Burr had this hilarious bit where he's like, when I was growing up, cars didn't have seatbelts. And then when they finally put them in, they only put them in the driver's seat. So when you're driving, you get in a car accident, you're like, oh, my family. Like, it's so fucked up. I love Bill Burr. I don't care what anyone says. He's funny.
When was the last time anybody got pulled over for speeding?
People still get pulled over for speeding.
No, they don't. What's the average speed that you can drive on the parkway around here?
65?
82. I have good word from a friend of mine who's passed away now, so I don't have to worry about him getting in trouble, who was actually calibrating the speed. I don't know if I should actually even say this. Who was actually calibrating the speed radars for the state troopers and the cops in this area. They're calibrated at 82 miles an hour. Why? Why are we allowed to go so fast? It's because we're responsible. It's because we're fucking responsible. Yeah, sure.
Wait, they're calibrated at 82?
Mm-hmm.
The speed trackers?
They're only supposed to go off if somebody's going over 82 miles an hour.
I actually, honestly, I always go just under 70. I try to keep it at 69 in the hopes that if I'm driving and a cop has this little speak up that he sees it and he sees it pop up as 69 miles an hour, and I just hope that in my mind he just sits there and he just goes, nice. Nice.
No.
I'm an adult, I swear. Wow.
I don't know. Why?
I mean, I'm sure there's still plenty of people out there who go over 82 miles per hour.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I see it all the time.
Sure. Back when I had a Mustang, I used to drive well over all the time, everywhere I went.
Way to incriminate yourself.
I don't care. Past its statute of limitations.
He drove over 82 miles an hour 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
There he is, officer.
I had the 12 points on my license to prove it, too.
Oh, my God.
It was a struggle to get insurance for a little while.
I can imagine.
But I didn't. That's not how I crashed. I did crash. It's not how I crashed.
Oh, God. That one time in the intersection with you in the rain.
Scared the shit out of you, didn't I?
Yeah. I think half my
never did a 180 in a car before, did you?
That wasn't a 180. That was 3/4. It was a 3.
Yeah, no, it was a 180, bud. It was a 180 because I came out and I fishtailed left first, and then I whipped the wheel and I fishtailed right, and we were facing the other car, and we went all the way around, and I was facing the car again. Yeah, it was a full 180.
Because I'll never forget. You were like, so here's it was a intersection, and you went like this and like that, and then suddenly it's like you made a left turn by going right.
I was trying to make a right-hand turn. I fishtailed left, and I was nose to nose with that car, and then I went this way. And when I was done,
I'll never forget the guy. It was a guy going.
So we were facing the intersection.
And I'm sitting here holding on to the oh shit bar, and I'm like,
listen, I get it. You were doing everything you could not to shit yourself at that exact moment. I understand. So it's probably a little hard for you to realize where we were going. But we were facing forward. And when we were done, we were facing in the same direction that we had just came from. So we did a full 180. Because I went left and then I went all the way over to the right.
If I can sit comfortably. I hate this chair. I got to get a new chair.
To be young and dumb and driving in the rain, driving a rear wheel vehicle in the rain.
I thought you were going to say something completely different. And full of crumbs.
And full of bums. I am not a Toyota. No, I ended up crashing my car. I ended up crashing my car because of a flash flood. That's the only way I actually lost control of my vehicle.
Eesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It was a bummer. I miss that car.
it was a nice car.
That's when then I got the BMW secondhand. Got it for under 10 grand. That thing was fun. Zippy. It was a little go-kart.
I think my favorite car was probably that CRZ. That was a fun
Yeah,
one.
they were similar body shape and build. They were both little 2-doors.
Little zippy.
Yeah. And you fucking go fast, you feel it. You feel like you're just hovering right over top of the road.
Yeah.
The Mustang did not. She just floated. You do 100 miles an hour and she's just like flying a boat. I don't know how to explain it. You got to drive a Mustang to know what that feels like. She throws you in the back of your chair and you're just like, what? The BMW and the CRZ was like, it was tight. It was tight right on the road. Like, you felt that.
I love that mine was still a 6-speed manual transmission too. That was, oh man, I missed it. That's another thing I noticed. Like, you don't really find a lot of like cars that are manual.
Mustang
anymore.
still makes them. I told you about that. The Dark Horse, they still make them.
Yeah.
No, it is now. It is no longer a base model. It is the lobster of car features. Started out being the poor man's thing, and now it's you have to actually request it to get it.
Yeah, because it used to be like having an automatic car, like having an automatic transmission was like a luxury.
It costs more now to have a fucking manual. Like what? The world we fucking live in, bud. The world
when I was looking at cars, I think like there was one car I was looking at once, and this is when I was like still in my early 20s. It was, I think like 16 grand, something like 16 grand, 16 something for a manual transmission, and for the automatic version, it was like 20 something.
Yeah.
Brand new.
That's the way that everything used to be. That's exactly the point that I'm making. That like before, if you wanted like the base model, it came in manual and it was remarkably cheaper. My dad got a brand new truck, like off the lot for like $8 grand because it was a little Chevy S10 pickup, which worth its weight in gold, lived for 30 years. You could rebuild it with a rubber band and fucking aluminum cans. I shit you not. Like that thing ran like
I feel like that's how a lot of cars used to be. Now
absolute workhorse out of the 80s. But yeah, you got it for like $8 grand off the lot because it was like a contractor special.
Mm-hmm.
And same deal. Like it had 5 miles on it when they brought it to the house. They brought it to the house. That was the best part. They brought it on a fucking flatbed and dropped it off out front.
Nice.
But yeah. And now you want a manual? Oh, that's like $4 grand. That's like, you got to put that on top. Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Now I'm curious.
Soon it's going to be like, you want a gas powered engine? It's just a hybrid, but it's going to be like another 10 grand on top.
Ugh.
You want a gas powered recharger? I hate this planet. I want to get off this planet.
Let me see here.
Do you know, this was something that actually, I forget who I ran into or what I was watching and we were talking about this, but I had an idea because I kind of understand a little bit of, I don't know what you would call it, radioactivity.
Radioactivity?
Yeah. So I don't understand. We've had this conversation where any form of energy that we have on this planet right now is just a different way of boiling water. Since the 70s, we've had the technology to literally extract the electron radiation off of radioactive isotopes, direct energy. So as it's just like offing its electrons as it normally does, it's just being in its thing. There is a way to collect those random electrons coming off of it and use it for straight power. but we've never developed a nuclear generator to do so. You're talking about like that's like 0 point energy. Like that's getting to the point of like, and as it's doing, like it lasts forever because you're not enriching it and you're not doing all sorts of other crazy shit to it. You're not putting it under stress, which is what we're doing with the boiling of the water and the other things, because you're actually putting them next to each other. So it's causing further radiation that's eating up the water, blah, blah, blah. You're just taking a radioactive isotope that otherwise would be in its natural state and collecting the electrons off of it. That would last for millennia. Why don't we do that?
Because you can't profit off of it. Because it's not profitable. You can't monetize free energy.
Well, see, I don't buy that. I don't, and I'm not knocking you. I get where you're coming from. I understand where your point is, but why the fuck don't we use that? Because you could charge people the exact same way. Even if you charge them at a reduced cost, the maintenance of it is fucking null.
Yeah.
So why?
No, I agree.
It's going to be doing that in the dirt somewhere else. It's just going to be sitting there doing fucking fuck all.
Yep.
But you put it in something that's actually going to collect the electrons off of it. And we're not doing that.
Nope.
Big coal? I don't know. I don't understand. Big what? Because that's what it would be replacing. Like this, it's not going to replace any of the other fossil fuels. It's just going to replace coal. So is that what it is? We got coal lobbyists that are like, no, stay away from like nuclear technology. Like I don't even know of any. I mean, I'm showing my hand there, but I don't know like any major coal producers on the planet anymore. Like they're not what they used to be. At least that's what I thought.
Well, I think with a lot of like, as far as like energy goes, a lot of, I mean, you have like what, wave turbines now, wind turbines, solar energy, geothermal energy.
All useless.
I wouldn't say they're useless.
They're useless. The problem, and the reason why I say that they're useless, is their efficiency level doesn't anywhere near their output and long term. It's the reason why they were trying to get everybody to use solar panels on their houses, because otherwise they couldn't find enough space to put solar panels out somewhere else.
See, that's another thing. I don't even trust putting a solar panel on a house, because first of all, you're putting all that weight on your roof.
Well, I mean, they exist. There's people around me that have them all up and down there, but the problem is that not everybody bought into it. So. Oh, here's the other problem. They're all made in China, and China's got a fucking backdoor into controlling them. And their efficiency level isn't that good. It's not as good as everybody thinks it is. It's not like people think that you plug in a solar panel and you're going to get a 98 to 100% efficiency. If they're dirty, they collect shit on them, that reduces their efficiency. If it's cloudy out, it reduces their efficiency. Their peak efficiency is only generally around noon. When that's if they're
direct sunlight,
yeah, if they're in direct sunlight. So if you have a house and the sun goes over your house this way, you're only getting 50% over here until it gets to the peak, and then it's hitting both of them, but it's also not directly aimed at it, so you're not getting a full efficiency from there. So they range anywhere between like 50 to like 85% on any given day. They're not as good as everybody thinks that they are. People don't understand that. They just think that like, oh, sun shines, I get a solar panel and I get the energy. No, that's not how it works. And then of course they are at 0% efficiency at night. When everybody uses their electricity to light their house.
Yeah. Yeah. That's ironic.
Wind turbines. If there's no wind, 0% efficiency. If there's too much wind, 0% efficiency because you can't have it going. There's no governor. Yeah. I mean, some have governors and whatnot, but like if it gets too hectic and too turbulent, then you start running the risk of them falling apart and breaking, because that happens.
Mm-hmm.
If the governor breaks and the brakes break and it just starts going fucking wild, you can have a rapid discharge. You can have all sorts of fucking issues with those things. Also, another huge problem with them is the fact that the directional, the same as solar panels are. So until they come up,
they can adjust the direction of those.
How do you do that?
Isn't it the same as like what the ones that are like those little
power?
What's it called?
It takes power to do that. So if there's
don't they have it where like like where the wind is turning, it like automatically adjusts, like sort of like how you see the things like when they're on the fucking like roof of someone's barn or something.
That's completely different.
The wind's going
that's way. Because they're light enough that actually they can be omnidirectional. That's completely different. I'm talking about the big ones that are there to power cities. If you want to turn that thing, you have to power it to do so. You have to run power to a motor that's going to spin this thing around to get to the proper direction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wave generators. I like the idea of wave generators. That makes
wave generators. I like I like all of that idea. Like anything that could do clean energy. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Again, wave generators. The problem with wave generators is the disruption of the environment. To have something big enough to actually garner enough energy, or several of them, you were talking about a huge footprint in the ocean that needs to be anchored. And then on top of it, have you ever been around a boat?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens to the side of a boat that's in the water?
What happens to the side of a boat that's in the water?
Mm-hmm.
Gets covered in algae and shit.
Correct. And barnacles.
Yeah.
And crud and slime and shit.
But I mean, like, there's always, like, no matter if it's wind turbines or wave turbines or solar panels, like, you're always going to have some kind of maintenance where, you know,
I'm not saying that there's going to be maintenance. My point is, when you have the option to have the most highly efficient source of energy, of literally like collecting energy that's just being shot into space anyway, and if you get like good at it, like,
yeah,
I can understand collecting solar radiation, sure, but you also realize, like, I consider these people kooks, the flat earthers that believe that there's like some sort of, like, the Tartarians that think that we're some sort of civilization that has arisen in the footsteps of a previous generation or a previous civilization. They're not necessarily wrong. Just some of their explanations are kind of like bizarre and out there.
I just had to Google Tartarian.
The
term Tartarian most commonly refers to the Tartarian Empire conspiracy, which proposes the existence of a lost advanced global civilization known as Tartaria. Just what?
Yeah,
that was supposedly erased from history. Here's a breakdown of this. I think that there was, so one of the actually interesting things I've heard about that is how all the gold and iron and all these things that you know, we mine and everything.
That was me, by the way.
Yeah.
I told you
it's
that.
It's remnants of
previous civilizations.
Yeah, and the ground and everything just like compresses that into. Yeah, that was an interesting one.
The
I think there's definitely been advanced civilizations, and it's human nature where we just fucking blow each other up.
Kind of. The Tartarians believe that there was like Atlantis, like they had like all of the technology and everything that we have is like a sham or like some sort of like scandal where we stole it somehow or some other dumb shit. But the point that I'm trying to actually make here is the fact that they point to these towers on these buildings and they say like, and there was a modern person, kind of modern, not really that modern, but Nikola Tesla believed that you could actually pull energy directly out of the atmosphere, and they're not wrong. It's legitimately, it's there.
I was gonna say, can you could?
It's there. It's 100% there. If you get on a fucking plane with a Geiger counter and go into the sky, it will go off significantly. Yeah. You're being hit by radiation, and it's not solar radiation; it's radiation. So it's up there. But we're not using anything to collect it. And I think that people have it sort of messed up because it's not like it's electricity that's up there. It's radiation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why it's so forbidden to research into like radiation conversion into energy.
Yeah, I think it's the same reason why, the people who figure out how to run a car on water suddenly have an accident and are no longer around.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
I think it's that same, cut. I think that reason is cut from that same cloth.
But see, that's the other part that I have. That's the other beef that I have with that argument. And again, this isn't directed at you, but this is the people that always make these arguments.
I get it.
If that's the case, we're talking about people who got a lot of money, and of course they got a lot of money to chase away other people out of their realm of their market. Why don't they develop it?
Not as profitable?
I don't think so. I think the exact opposite. I think that they would be like the next like robber baron. They would be like the next Rockefeller. They would be like the next Elon Musk. If you could literally do that.
I don't know, maybe their mindset is just like,
if you could figure out, there are people on this planet. If you could figure out how to sell a fucking rock to people, and then they will figure out ways so that you think that the rock is the most important thing on the face of the planet, because that's literally what's happening right now. But why is it that we just stay away from this stuff? Because that's the other thing, is not only that, if we have the technology to do it on a minor level, that means that we have access to like abundant energy. That is the next huge step in space travel. Like long distance space travel, not planetary space travel, like solar space travel.
Going from one star to the next.
Correct. I mean, think about it. If you have a rock that's literally just expelling it, it could go on for hundreds of years. You just take a big rock and throw it in the back of the thing, and it fucking powers the boosters, and off you go. And like, to be as reductive as possible, but
you think? Well, I'm sure you've looked into you ever see like the actual documentary or hear about what Bob Lazar was talking about, like what powered
that element, like 158,
115.
Sure, it is 158.
It was pretty sure it's 115. Double check, actually.
Bob Lazar.
Yep, Moscovium. With the symbol MC. It is a super heavy radioactive element that is artificially created.
Well, no, it's artificially created on our planet because it's unstable when we create it.
Yeah, it was first synthesized in 2003 by scientists at the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research in Dubna, Russia. It was named after the Moscow Oblast in Russia, where the JINR is located. Moscovium is a super heavy radioactive metal. It's expected to have a silvery gray color and properties similar to bismuth, which is actually one of my favorite things. Yeah. Bismuth just looks so cool. I always thought like bismuth was something else from another world, because it's just like the way it crystallizes in like these square geometric I've always been fascinated by that shit. But yeah, supposedly this element was found on one of the craft, and it that's what powered the ship,
Right.
and made it so,
Again, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's 100% exactly what I'm talking about. And I even just brought this up. Direct radiation harvesting refers to capturing and converting energy from various forms of direct radiation, such as sunlight, infrared, and beta radiation, into usable electrical energy. This exists.
So maybe we're already using it, and we just don't.
So why the fuck don't we use it to power our power grids?
Well, it's in it might be something that they might already be doing that. It's just it might be something that only the government or the military is using. And it's like what happened with GPS. Like GPS used to be just like a military thing, and then now all of a sudden everybody has that in their car, and now they have it in their pockets. You getting that like Garmin like GPS thing was like.
I mean, I was watching a bunch of videos that were actually using radio waves. They were using radio waves to actually direct power to things, and it works.
Interesting.
It's sort of interesting. So, like, have you ever seen the video of like the guys who they fuck with the AM towers? They take like a hot dog and they touch a hot dog to the AM tower, and it's like, but at the exact same time, it's like playing the radio signal that's supposed to be going out. You've never seen that?
No.
Seriously? Hot dog radio tower. Yeah, here you go.
Hot dog
Okay.
radio tower.
All right. So ground to that. All right. You want to say anything?
Well, never done anything like this before,
Unmute
but
this.
I'm going to try to draw energy through this hot dog to appease our curiosity. Try to draw energy through the hot dog to the ground wire. Then my jumper cables are actually grounded. I'm going to stay sort of safe enough away.
Requires that
Probably not good
You
for
hear
the
it?
paint, but we can hear it.
requires that
That's why you don't touch a tower. Look at that juicy stuff there.
Look at that
Don't
little
lick
4-foot fence around that thing.
tradition that affirms that the Catholic, as I try to spell out in the book, and it's sort of
The hot dog is smaller than it was. Show me the. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's the hot dog has disappeared. Part of it. All right. Here's another hot dog. Don't stab your fingers.
It appears to be a standard hot dog. That's crazy. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
I'm going to go parallel to this right here. I'm like a half an inch away. Make sure it's hot. It's hot. A half an inch away, standing here with a grounded hot dog. Oop, don't touch too close. Make sure we
See the plasma coming off of it?
Yeah. Bring it back.
Okay.
This is why you don't want to touch an AM tower
You
and
use
ground
cheese
yourself.
dogs.
Because that's what the end of your finger will look like.
So, but yeah, you heard the broadcast coming through the. Did I lose you?
I muted my microphone because I didn't want there to be an echo, because
Gotcha.
I had to like unmute the stream to hear that. But yeah, that's fucking wild.
And I can actually do you one even better than that. There was one of the guys that I followed. He's like a science channel, and he was trying to basically collect the power that this tower was emitting. And he created this little generator. Symbol was like a plate with some magnets or something on there. And when they showed up, it didn't work. And he was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like I did like soft tests of this. And then it turns out because it drew so much power, even at the distance that he was at, or was like, as they were getting close to it, it fried the fucking little thing that he made. And he had to make a more robust one to bring it back and actually have it work. And then it did work. So like these towers emit enough power at like, I want to say that they were like, I think like 600 yards, they were able to like actually still consistently pick up power.
At 600 yards?
Yeah, like a distance. They were at a distance.
Wow.
So it's like they're not wrong that there's free energy out there.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know.
That's wild. I mean, also, yeah, that little 4-foot fence, that was funny.
That was, yeah. It's like this thing could literally just make you explode if you touched it. And there's just this little 4-foot fence that
and it's like
anybody could hop.
He's just not even cooking the hot dog, just melted. Like it's disintegrating and converting into plasma as he's like pressing up against it. I've always wondered, like especially in this day and age, like who the fuck is listening to AM radio?
I used to.
I feel like the only thing
I stopped listening to it. Once Art Bell was no longer on it, and you had to go to get him from satellite radio, then I stopped. Plus, after Art Bell died, it just hasn't been the same. That was John Nappy, but no, that's somebody else. What's his name? Coast to Coast. Coast to Coast. AM. What's his name? He's just not as good, and it's. I feel bad saying it. This guy, I forget his name. Oh, I'm not sharing. George Norrie, that's what it is. George Norrie. That was like John. It was a J and an N sound. Yeah, you never heard of Coast to Coast?
I've heard of Coast to Coast. I remember Art Bell's Coast to Coast.
Yeah, this is the same. It's the same show. It's just George Norrie took over. Because Art passed away in 2016.
I never listened to Art Bell except for like that one call that like actually like shut down the whole place.
You never listened to Art Bell?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's right up your alley.
I know it is. Yeah, never like. I mean, aside from I think it's just because I wasn't really like a big radio listener. Like I never really just had like a radio on standby unless I was in my car. But even then, I would just pop a CD in.
Look at that face. Looks like your dad.
He looks no. He looks nothing like him. He looks like a dad.
He looks like your dad.
No, it looks nothing like my dad.
Okay.
You want to see my dad pull up Freddie Mercury?
You know what it is? It's the cigarette and the aviators. That's what's throwing me. And the mustache. That's what's throwing me off. You're right.
I was fucking with my dad. I said, so Dad, what was it like working with Daryl Hall in the 80s? I always tell people Freddie Mercury never died. He just went home.
Shit, dude. I would love to do
call in. We can get people to join our Discord. That's it. Anyone who ever wants conspiracy theories, you want to talk about aliens, anything paranormal.
Yeah, fuck
you want to talk about what the fuck ever.
Yes.
Join our Discord. We're live every Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
hop in, join. If you want us to react to something, we have a tab in there called React to This. If you want us to riff off something, we'll check it out. I'm down for that.
Yeah. Demonic possession of a black magic. Oh, go back to that. I want to read. And black magic blamed for bizarre house fire in Britain. Yeah, I want to hear your alien stories.
Damn.
I want to hear your ghost stories. I want to hear your local legends. I want to hear about your crack fueled fucking benders. Call in.
That's 555-5555.
No, that's meet us at our Discord.
I'm here.
No, I screwed around with my. Here, I'm back. You never
Yeah. Yeah, anybody ever wants to even just like hop in the general.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a little of this. See if that works. Did I lose you again? A little.
No, I'm still here.
Nope, nobody's in there. I was hoping.